You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus. Powered by Seahawks.com. Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome to another edition of Hawk Talk, a playoff edition of Hawk Talk as the Seahawks getting ready to face the San Francisco 49ers in the divisional playoffs. Run it back one more time. This is why people do it. This is why you want to be a fan for moments like this. Winner goes home. Truly winner-take-all scenario. Bump. And get your popcorn ready because it's about to be fun.
Let's go, baby. Third time is the charm. So might as well run that thing back and do what we're supposed to do. This is fun, man. You got 3 NFC West teams left in the playoffs, the best division in football. Why not represent and go up against a foe?
No question about it. I believe I saw this on ESPN Insights. I think there's only been 2 other or 3 other divisions that had 3 playoff teams in the divisional round of the playoffs. So that just shows you how good the division is. We've been talking about that all year. It's pretty clear now as day. And then before we get into those 49ers, because we got a lot of good stuff for you today, quick shout out to the Seahawks that were named to the All-Pro team. JSN, first team. Witherspoon, second team. Leo, second team. Ernest Jones, second team. And Michael Dixon, second team. Honestly, all those guys are probably worthy of first team, and there's a lot more missing from this list, I feel like. But you can't get too greedy.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Can't. I'm just glad Ernest got his love, man. Snub for the Pro Bowl. So nice that his peers and other people are appreciating him properly.
Yeah, no, it's they're doing a lot of good things. We're going to talk about that defense extensively today, but let's get into those 49ers. What's on tap?
What's on tap?
They were 12-5, finished second place in the NFC West. They won a wildcard game this last week, Bump, over the Philadelphia Eagles, 23-19. And honestly, Bump, I'm going to say it. I think that was the best win of the Kyle Shanahan era. They had a good win against the Packers, I believe, in the divisional round, maybe in 21. But just knowing the injuries that they're dealing with and what's going on, they went across the country on a short week. I know everyone's making a big deal about that, but they did handle business, and they beat the defending champs. You're the defending champs until someone beats you, and that's what the Niners did. What did you see out of that matchup?
Yeah, they did a good job, man. The game kicked off. The Niners, they marched down the field, 6 plays, 76 yards, and then ended with a touchdown pass to Demarcus Robinson as the 49ers took a 7-0 lead. And then the Eagles would answer with a 10-play, 63-yard drive, ending with a Dallas Goedert touchdown, but they missed the extra point. I'm seeing a lot of missed extra points these days.
Yeah, especially
it's
this time
weird.
here.
But they're hitting bombs from 50 like it's nothing.
60, 65,
right?
70.
Crazy. All right, three drives later, Eagles will put together another impressive drive, 16 plays, 94 yards, ending with a touchdown to Goddard. I said that already. Thank you. The Niners would answer with a field goal, and the score was 13-10 Philly at the half.
Yeah, it was a close game. The Eagles would kick a field goal after only 3 points in the third quarter. The 49ers would answer with a trick play with Jennings hitting McCaffrey.
It was a nice little throw, too.
I was going to say, he got lit up, too, and he made a great throw. That made the score 17-16. And then after an Eagles field goal, the 49ers would find the end zone again with a 4-yard touchdown, Christian McCaffrey. That made the score 23-19. Bump, down 4, one last chance to go in the game. Facing a 4th and 11, the 49ers the Eagles are unable to get it done there. Incomplete on 4th and 11. Jalen Hurts could not find Goddard. They lose the ball game. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, and Purdy, he had a decent day. 18 of 31, 262, 2 touchdowns, but he did have 2 interceptions. McCaffrey looked like the guy that he's been all year. 114 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Demarcus Robinson led all receivers with 111 yards on 6 receptions and 1 touchdown. The last time I saw Demarcus, he was catching a touchdown for the Rams in overtime against us. That was the last flashback I had of Demarcus Robinson. Jalen Hurts had himself a good day, okay day. 20 of 35, 168, 1 touchdown. It's probably why their OC has been let go. Saquon Barkley had 106 yards on 26 carries. The Eagles didn't look like the Eagles of last year. A lot of because different offensive coordinator, offensive line wasn't healthy, and you got the weapons, though. That's why I was surprised that they didn't win this game.
They were having issues kind of all year, and I think it finally just came to fruition that they weren't able to get it done. Tip your cap to the Niners. They went down there and they took care of business on the road, got the win, but it wasn't at a cost. George Kittle goes down with an Achilles injury. He's done for the year, and tough one for him. We know how good George Kittle is. We've talked about him extensively over the years in this show, so big ups to George. Hope he gets back healthy, but he's not going to play against the Seahawks. The rubber match coming your way, but let's jump into this little head-to-head matchup. We're looking at regular season numbers, so we'll kind of breeze through this, but just showing you how close these teams are. Offensively, the Seahawks were eighth in the NFL, 351 yards a game, 10th in rushing offense, 8th in passing offense, and 3rd in points per game. When you look at the Niners, they were 7th in total offense, 24th rushing the ball, which is crazy when you think of who they have. We'll dive into that a little bit later. They were 5th in pass offense and 10th in points per game, getting 25 per.
Pretty close in most numbers except that rush offense. Defensively, the Hawks were 6th overall, Niners 20th. Hawks 3rd against the run, the Niners 11th. The Hawks 10th against the pass, the 49ers 25th. And points allowed, the Hawks number 1 in the league, allowing 17.2, and the 49ers 13th, 21.8. A number that sticks out to me is interceptions by the Niners. Only 6, 18 by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and then while you're talking about that, sacks. Okay, the Seahawks got after the 47 sacks, Niners 20. So what some people perceive as the Seahawks' weakness offensively is turning the ball over. There's no running away from that. But the Niners aren't forcing turnovers that way, and they're not sacking the quarterback that way. So I think that'll be a big factor as we go into this matchup. But let's turn the page back a little bit. Let's know that history.
Know your history.
Seahawks lead the all-time series 32-24, 31-23 in the regular season, and 1-1 in the postseason. Seahawks obviously won that last matchup just a few weeks ago in Week 18 for the NFC West title. It was a 10-point game, 13-3, but no mistake about it, that was a beatdown. It was a physical beatdown. The Seahawks defense absolutely suffocated the 49ers. Offensively, the Seahawks moved the ball. They almost had a touchdown in the first drive. They had an 8-minute drive late in the game. Zach Charbonnet did his thing. And when you look at it, like, again, the numbers might lie to you, but the Hawks outgained the Niners 361-173, outrushed them 180-53, one-time possession 37-48 to 22-12. Hawks had 23 first downs. They had 9. So it was a game where the Seahawks played on their terms and they dominated that football game. So it'll be interesting to see what the Niners have to come back from. In the first matchup, the Seahawks were only able to score 13 points, 17-13. You can look at that game and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. But the rubber match will decide everything that's going on. But before we get deep into those 49ers, let's take a look around the NFC West. What's the word?
Where my soldiers at? West side! Where my soldiers at? West side!
And the Seahawks are the NFC West champs again.
What's the word in the West on Hawk Talk?
You heard it. Rabe said it. NFC West champions again. Seahawks in the season 14-3. Rams 12-5. Niners 12-5. And the Cardinals 3-14. We've been saying it for some time. This is the best division in football, up and down. Cardinals joined the party, but the Hawks, Rams, and Niners got you covered. It's not even close, man. There's 4 teams in the NFC playoffs. We got 3 of them come from the NFC West, like we said before. And for the Seahawks to make the Super Bowl, there's a good chance they would need to be both rivals. You got the Rams and the Niners, but one game at a time, sir.
Yeah, one game at a time. And the Rams, I'm hearing a lot about how they're not playing well right now. It is what it is, but in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. Survive in advance. This was a rematch when they played the Panthers in wildcard of Week 13, where the Panthers upset the Rams 31-28. In this matchup, the Rams were up a lot. They're up 17-7, driving in the second quarter of this game. This was where the game kind of turned. 4th and 1, the Rams, they're aggressive. They go for the jugular. They do not get it. I think that's when the game turned. The Panthers are able to get back in the game, score the next points, and then eventually take the lead with a Chuba Hubbard touchdown that made the score 24-20. Set up by Mike Jackson, interception. Mike Jackson continuing to make plays down there. Rams answer with 11-play drive, ending with a Kyren Williams touchdown, taking the lead 27-24. Puka Nacua helped save that drive when he turned into offensive back and broke up a for-sure interception.
That was a great defensive play. Receivers, if it's underthrown, about to get intercepted, you are now the defender. 2 drives later, the Panthers blocked the punt, setting up a short field for a Jalen Coker touchdown, making the score 31-27 with 2:39 left in the ball game. And of course, that was too much time for Matthew Stafford. I knew it. I knew it was too much time.
Yeah.
He marched down the field, finds Kobe Parkinson, beautiful throw on the sideline, back shoulder. Kobe twist, scores a touchdown. That makes the score 34-31. The Panthers only have 38 seconds left, but they had all 3 timeouts, but just weren't able to get it done.
Yeah, it was. If you're a Panthers fan, frustrating because in this day and age in the NFL, 38 seconds, even if you don't have all 3 timeouts, is usually enough to get back into field goal range of what kickers are doing there. But they were unable to get not even a yard. They couldn't get a completion. They lose the game. Rams win. Stafford finished the day 24 for 42, 304, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Puka Nacua, 10 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown. Bryce Young, 21 of 40, 264, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
Coker had 134 on 9 receptions and a touchdown. Hubbard had 2 rushing touchdowns. And the Rams, they keep saying they haven't played their best ball since losing to the Seahawks, but you survive and advance. They got to go to Chicago and take on the hot Bears right now.
Yeah, speak about that game for a quick second, Bump. To me, it felt like the Packers did everything they could to lose that game.
Yep.
But it is what it is. You survive in advance. Caleb Williams makes an unbelievable plays on 4th down. They win the ball game, and it's going to be cold, Bump.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy. It's going to be nasty. So we'll see what the Rams have in store for them going across the country. But we'll take our focus back to the San Francisco 49ers. Time to man up.
Hey, who you got?
Who you got? You know what time it is. Man up.
Man up, brother.
Man up.
Man up on Hawk Talk.
We always start with the quarterback, so no changes here. Brock Purdy. He's had a pretty good season, been a big part of their team's kind of resurgence in the second half of the year. Week 1 against the Seahawks, 26 of 35, 277, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. 5 carries for 17 yards. Week 18, 19 of 27, 127, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. Obviously, much worse game. So far this season in 9 games, he's 197 for 284, 2,167 yards, 20 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Also has 147 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing the ball. This last week, he had a pretty good game against the Eagles with 2 touchdowns. He did have the 2 interceptions. According to Next Gen Stats, Purdy completed 13 of 17 passes for 197, 2 touchdowns, and an interception when targeting between the seams in their playoff win against the Eagles. You know, Paul Moore's talked about this a lot.
All the time.
And the numbers bear it up.
Yeah.
You got to force him to throw outside.
Yep.
You got to force him to throw outside. That's when mistakes happen. And Purdy, he's done his thing when he's been healthy. He's done a lot with weapons injured. So I'll give him credit. You know, a lot of people have talked about, well, it's easy to do it when you have a Deebo Samuel, a Christian McCaffrey, a George Kittle, a Kyle Juszczyk. You just start going down the line, Brandon Ayuk. And he's had to deal with injuries offensively. The Seahawks are definitely going to give him, you know, their best shot. A couple cool next-gen stats, though, while we're talking about Purdy from the Seahawks defensively. The Seahawks have been getting after the quarterback all season long. 6 different Seahawks defenders generated at least 30 pressures this season, all of which were defensive linemen. DeMarcus Lawrence, 51. Byron Murphy, 46. Leonard Williams, 45. Chenna Nwosu, 44. Boye Mafi, 41. Derek Hall, 36. No other defense had more than 4 such players accomplish that feat. As a result, so many effective pass rushers, the Seahawks managed to generate the league's 4th highest pressure rate, 38.9% when blitzing, at the 8th lowest rate. So they get after the quarterback. That's the key in my opinion. You suffocate Brock Purdy, you get after him, you make life hell, you throw the ball outside. That's how you really kind of throw him off his game.
Yeah, when he's sitting in a nice comfy pocket and with all the crossing patterns that's going on, layer you up, it's going to be tough. So yes, get after that quarterback. Let's talk about our quarterback, man. He was among the league's best this season, and he found a home in Seattle, and we love him, okay? Darnold's 5th in the NFL in passing yards with 4,048, 2nd in the NFL when it comes to yards per pass attempt, 8.5, and 2nd in NFL yards per completion, 12.5. On the season, he's completed 67% of his passes for 25 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. He's tied for the most wins in 2 consecutive seasons by a QB. Guess who he's tied with?
The GOAT.
The great Tom Brady. He was a Pro Bowl selection. He has 9 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter and overtime since 2024. That's the most in the NFL. In 2 games against the Niners, he's completed 36 of 49 for 348, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. The Niners finished the regular season 20th overall with 340 yards per game. Get after him. The Niners are dead last in sacks. Dead last. We said this already with 20. Let's keep the good times rolling. They're 30th in pressures with 106 and 30th in pressure percentage at just 16.7, and they don't blitz a lot. Only 18.3%, 29th in the league. Most importantly, there's no Nick Bosa, no Fred Warner. Protect your quarterback.
Yeah, I would say advantage Seahawks there. They've done a good job protecting him all season long, so I don't see why anything needs to stop on Sunday. Looking at the running back, Christian McCaffrey, okay? His resume speaks for himself. We know that. It's a long one. One of the most decorated running backs. We talk about him, call him a Swiss Army knife every time we have the chance. 4-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro. He was both of those this season. And he had another great year.
He get first team or second team?
I believe he got first team, but it wasn't just straight up running back. It was like all purpose.
Okay.
It was like a created title. Obviously, I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's because he does it all. It's because he is a Swiss Army knife, so they had to create a designation for him.
That's how nice you are.
But no, McCaffrey, 311 carries, 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns, 102 receptions, 924 yards, 7 receptions. That is deadly as a running back. He led the league with 413 touches, so his exposure was crazy. Second in scrimmage yards, fourth in all-purpose yards. But in the 2 games against Seattle, 30 carries for 92 yards, just 3 yards a carry, 15 receptions for 107 yards. He had a decent game in that first one receiving the football. So that's where he can hurt you. McCaffrey generated 31 yards after the catch in the passing game, converting 6 of 8 targets into receptions against the Eagles. Now, here's how good the Seahawks are defensively. Seahawks, we talked about it, they've allowed a league low 3.1 yards per carry on design runs that feature a motion, which Kyle Shanahan teams do all the time. To figure out what's going on. Fewest allowed by any defense over the past 2 seasons. Now, this is one that's probably going to be interesting for most people out there. The 49ers offense used motion at the snap on 212 design runs this season, 5th most in the NFL. That's not the shocking part. Despite their high volume, they average just 3.6 yards per carry on those plays, the 3rd fewest in the NFL, more than only the Cardinals at 3-5 and the Giants at 3-5. When you have Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan, the people they have on there, that's shocking to me.
Yeah, man, it's impressive. It is impressive. We know we're going to see a lot of motion on both sides, and I love that. It makes the defense have to react and declare what you're in. Are you zone? Are you man? And they try to out-leverage you. Chess game we're going to see on Saturday, chess game. All right, let's talk about the 49ers wideouts. All right, we know the receiving corps has been through a lot this year when it comes to injuries, but here's what we got. You got Juwan Jennings this year, 55 receptions, 643 yards and 9 touchdowns. Week 1 against the Hawks, he had 2 for 16. Week 4, he had 4 for 35. Wildcard game, he had 1 reception for 45 yards and a 29-yard touchdown. Ricky Pearsall, the guy who's been in and out the lineup as well, 36 receptions for 522, no touchdowns. Week 1 against the Hawks, he had 4 receptions for 108. Didn't play Week 18, didn't play in the wild card. Status is still up in the air. We'll see what happens there. Former Seahawk Malik Turner was activated on practice squad in his place. He got Kendrick Bourne, 37 receptions, 551 yards, 0 touchdowns. Week 1, he didn't play. Week 18, 1 target on 0 receptions. And then you have DeMarcus Robinson, 22 receptions, 276 on the year with 1 touchdown. Week 1, he didn't play. Week 18, he had 3 for 24. Wildcard game, breakout game as a Niners, 6 receptions for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. He's never had more than 3 receptions or 44 yards in any other game this season. Shanahan was scheming him up, that's for sure. The Hawks been battle-tested all season long. They should be ready for this challenge. The Hawks finished 10th against the pass, allowing 193 yards per game. The Seahawks had 18 interceptions this season, 5th most in the NFL.
Yeah, they're getting after the quarterback. The guys you just mentioned, they can all play. Jennings has made a ton of plays.
Yep.
DeMarcus Robinson has been an OG in this league for a long time. Pearsall, he was a first-round pick for a reason. Bourne, all that. But they're going up against a very good secondary. Tariq Woolen, Josh Jobe, Kobe Bryant's coming back, Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon. And looking at it there's been a lot said about Tariq Woolen this year and Josh Jobe. So both of them allowed the 5th fewest yards per target when playing man coverage, respectively. Tariq Woolen, 2.7, Josh Jobe, 3.7, among quarterbacks that's faced at least 20 targets. So they're doing their thing when they're in man situations. While the Seahawks as a defense have played man coverage the 8th lowest rate this season, both Woolen, 33%, and Jobe, 38%, held man coverage assignment on 33% of their snaps, marked slightly above league average. So they're doing their thing when they're in man. Obviously, guys, Next Gen does an amazing job on all the stuff that they give us. Some of those you take a grain of salt because you don't know. You're not in the defensive team meeting room. You don't know everything. But it just paints a picture that when they're in these situations, they're playing good defense. Yeah,
they are, man. They're sticky, and they don't get the love they deserve, so we will give it to them here.
Absolutely. Let's look at the receivers. Jackson Smith and Jigba Cooper Rashid Shaheed going against this 49er secondary JSN. Man, what can you say about him? Best in the game. Finished the season leading the NFL in yards. 1st in yards per touch, 2nd in yards per game, 4th in NFL in receptions, 6th in touchdown, 9th in yards per reception. Tied for the league lead in explosive plays, 27 plays for 20 or more yards. Best season ever in the history of the franchise for the Seahawks, 1,390-yard games. Most for an NFL receiver, 23 yards or younger. Pro Bowl, first team All-Pro, $1 million more. We could go 10 minutes about that. Against the Niners, Week 1, 9 receptions, 124 yards. Week 18, 6 receptions, 84 yards. So he can tee it up. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk between the secondary over there and both sides. So it'll be interesting to see what JSN and Sam Darnold can do this weekend, but I love what we're seeing from number 11, and I want to see what he does on Saturday.
Yeah, I want to see what Kupp does as well. He's had himself a solid season. 47 receptions, 593, and 2 touchdowns. Week 1, he had 2 receptions for 15. Week 18, a huge 2 receptions for 29 yards. And then Shaheed, one of the best additions in football this year. If we're talking Mariners, he's Randy Arozarena a couple years ago when
Josh
Mariners
Naylor.
picked him up. Josh Naylor, exactly. Should have went there first, honestly. So far this year, 15 receptions for 188, but he does have 2 returns for a touchdown. Week 1 against San Francisco, he didn't play. He was with the Saints. Week 18, he had 1 for 2, and 1 kick return for 34, and 2 punt returns for 30 yards, a long of 19. The 49ers are 25th against the pass, allowing 232 per game in the regular season. And Diamador Lenore, thank you. He even spelled it out for me, and I still jacked it up. First, JSN, another fun matchup. JSN, the way he does it is right. He doesn't really respond during social media, but he gets on the field and he'll talk to you. And then after the game, he makes no big deal of the whole situation. That's how you do it. Jason's a pro.
It's going to be fun. These are the matchups that you get your popcorn ready for. We say it, but seriously, this is appointment watching television. Then we're going to look at the running backs. There's been a lot of heat on this unit for the Seahawks all season long. But when you look at how they finished the year, you would sign up. Bump, if you told me the numbers I'm about to read to you at the beginning of the season, I would sign up for this 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. Seahawks run game was a huge topic of conversation, like I said. They finished 10th in rushing this season, averaging 123 yards per game. I will take top 10 in the NFL in anything.
All day.
They were 28th in rushing at 95 yards per game in 2024, so a huge 18 spots on that. Ken Walker, he gets his 1,000-yard season.
Let's go.
Second 1,000-yard season of his career. Zach Charbonnet had 730 yards, but he had 12 touchdowns, becoming the first Seahawks player since Marshawn Lynch to record double-digit rushing touchdowns in a season. The last 3 games, Seahawks rushed for 160 yards, 3 straight games. Ken Walker, week 1, 10 carries, 20 yards, 3 receptions for 4, so he didn't do a whole lot. Second week, 16 carries, 97 yards, 4 for 36. So incredibly effective that second time around. Zach Charbonnet, 12 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown in week 1. And then week 18, 17 carries for 74 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, these guys they're a nice combo. They settled into who they are and what this team wants from them. And big ups to this offensive line, too, man. I know these guys get the love and the credit as they should, but this offensive line, weathered the storm with some injuries and has some guys playing better to finish the season. So love the combo. Love the run game. Need to see it again on Saturday.
Yeah. We've gone through the matchups of the players. It's advantage Seahawks, in my opinion. I think we just laid that out. But that's why they play the games. That's why they play the games. But we're going to tell you how the Seahawks can get this done. Path to victory.
At the 45, waits for the snap. Michael Dixon puts it down. That kick is away. And that kick is good! The Seahawks win! It's good!
It's a path to victory on Hawk Talk.
I'll keep saying it because it's worked for the last 6 or 7 weeks. Coach McDonald said earlier this season, players had earned the right to expect to win. Decisive, relentless, shocking. On the road against your rival, last time you took care of business.
Yes, sir.
Now you're back at the crib. You're back at Lumen Field where memories are made. This is what you sign up for, and I feel good about this team. And it's not an overconfident thing. I think you hear the players talking on both sides. And quite frankly, both teams are in the right to be here. The Niners went on the road, beat the defending Super Bowl champions. They earned the right to be in this situation. The Seahawks took the number 1 seed, went to their house and beat them. They earned the right to be in this situation. So I love it. Talk your stuff, both sides. That's why they play the games. It's going to be a fun thing on Saturday. But Bump, for this to go well for the Seahawks, I want them to start fast. Great opening drive last time. They got to be able to cash that in. And on the same token, score touchdowns in the red zone. Jason Myers, do your thing. Last time, the Seahawks got down there and missed a couple field goals. We have all the confidence in the world in Jason Myers. Shake that off. Start fast, score points, and get in the end zone.
Hey, get back on that T-box, shorten the swing, close the face. And,
and he knows that because he's an excellent golfer.
Excellent golfer. And you got to protect your quarterback, man. They do not sack the quarterback. The Niners just don't do it. The worst in the NFL at that. They don't get a lot of pressure. I just ran the numbers through you. And in those moments, Sam needs to shine. There's no pressure. You see the field. You make the plays you're supposed to make. And I believe that he will. I'm confident in Sam Darnold and what he brings to the game, especially once that run game starts going. And then you must stretch the field. The Hawks need to hit some big plays down the field to JSN. They've done it for most of the season. Let's keep the good times rolling. I believe he's tied for the most explosive plays in the past game with 27 of them things. We need to see that out of JSN.
Yeah, no, I want to continue to see that for sure. And run the football. You figured it out, kind of. It's been a whole strife all season long, but you figured it out going through the line from Cross to Zabel to Sundell to Bradford to Abe Lucas. Those guys are getting it done. Run the football. They've been great over the last couple of months. And defensively, get after Brock Purdy. He will put the ball in jeopardy. He's going to have some amazing plays where you go, you know what? Tip your cap, dog.
Can't do
nothing we knew about that. But he's also going to take chances. He's going to put the ball in jeopardy. When that happens, you need to take the football. And then lock down McCaffrey. You know, it's a tough task, Bump. They shut him down in the last matchup. I can't expect that again.
No.
To that extent.
It'd be nice.
I mean, I should because how good the dark side is. So I don't want to slight them. But Christian McCaffrey's that good of a player. But he just can't go off. That's kind of my thing. He just can't go off, Bump. But it's out there. It's there for the taking. This matchup is primetime. Lumen Field back. Feels like it's 19 or 13. Back how it should be. A rivalry. Let's get it done.
This is your moment, baby. Show up, do your thing. This is why we play games like this. You're at home. Luma's gonna be rocking. Let's go 1-0 and move on.
And this is perfect. The Seahawks are playing on Saturday. If they take care of business, they'll get a rest day on Sunday. Regardless, me and Bump will be here on Monday breaking down hopefully a Seahawks victory and advancement to the NFC Championship game. Until then, he's Michael Bumpus. I'm Nasser Kyobe. This has been Hawk Talk.